All right, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Rob from Rob Cologne Radio. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell. But I'm going to get right into it as usual. All right, tonight I want to talk about the UFC 239 card and give some predictions on three of the fights of the night. Now, the first fight I'm going to talk about is John Jones versus Thiago Santos. Now, for Thiago Santos to pull off this win, Thiago's going to have to be his normal, reckless, balls to the wall self. He's going to have to expose himself to a lot of strikes, and he's going to have to try to, get John Jones on the back foot and just be wild and unpredictable. And we're going to see how that plays out with Jones. Jones has faced a lot of strikers that had power, and he was able to outsmart them. Was able to, use better technique, and as has remained unbeaten for the most part. Well, is unbeaten, but he's never really faced in recent history a real wild, unconventional striker with some power like Thiago, which I do feel like is a disadvantage when you're facing a dude like John Jones. John Jones is very quick, has real good defense, and he's able to capitalize off of mistakes of competitors very easily, like all greats, seem to be able to do. So I think Thiago is going to come out real wild in the first round, which to me is the best game plan, because I just don't think Thiago has the skills to really strike, strike for strike with John Jones. So he's going to have to try to put John Jones on the back foot. I'm looking for John Jones to possibly take Thiago down a couple times, and I'm looking for John Jones to probably win by TKO, second, maybe third round. I believe that's how that fight is going to go. I believe Thiago is probably going to have very little success being wild. John Jones, I feel like his defense is too good, and he sees things come the way before you would think he would, especially when you're doing like Santos and you're loading up on him. John Jones is not going to engage into the heavy firefight. He's going to stick to his game plan like he normally does. All right, now let's talk about Holly Holmes versus Amanda Nunes. Now I think this is going to be the more competitive fight of the night on this card. Well, the main card, so to speak. I believe that these two are very evenly matched. I give a little bit of an advantage to Nunes on the ground, and it's very even as far as the hands standing up. But I would give a little bit of an advantage to Nunes as far as the striking with the hands standing up, and just because of power. Technique is a little better with Holly Holmes, but Holly Holmes, I feel like she just doesn't have that KO, back you up power, especially get somebody who's as seasoned, with the striking as Nunes. I'm looking for Nunes to pull this off. Possible TKO fourth round, but most likely it'll go to a decision. This is gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be a very competitive fight. I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I'm just leaning towards Nunes because I think she has a little more heart than Holly Holm. I think Holly Holm is the more skilled striker, is the more skilled fighter. But I think in times where things get a little tough and Holly's not able to back somebody up, or their striking is just as good as hers, and they're right in their face, I think Holly kind of shrinks down sometimes, which is terrible, man. Because I really do think Holly should be a little more accomplished in the mixed martial arts than she actually is. I think it's one of those things at the same time. I feel like she really just doesn't really like hurting people like that, man. You know what I'm saying? She's a nice person, but, hey, man, you're kind of in the wrong game if that's what it is. But I see that fight being more competitive, being the most competitive fight, especially as far as the belts tonight. Then I want to talk about Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. Now, this has been a fight had a lot of steam behind it, man. It's actually gotten more press than John Jones versus Thiago Santos. It's a very even match, if you ask me. Uh, big advantage as far as Ben Askren on the ground. It just is what it is. And the funny thing is about it is I kind of compare it to when Ben Askren had the wrestling match against Jordan Burroughs. Ben Askren is real good. He's a real good wrestler. But Jordan Burroughs is just in a whole other universe with it. You know what I mean? So while Masvidal, for a mixed martial artist, Has some pretty good wrestling. Has some pretty good ground game. It's just a real crafty dude. None of that stuff is gonna work with Ben though. So 9 times out of 10 he's gonna have to rely on his striking, and I just don't think his striking is I don't think he has that KO power dealing with a dude like Ben Askren that's not gonna be reckless in there with you. That's gonna have a game plan. That's gonna stick to his game plan, and is looking to just see you throw a couple shots so he can go in for the takedown, and which is gonna make you a little more apprehensive about throwing shots. So you go straight back yourself. So it neutralizes you to try to wrestle with him or try to get him on the ground. And I think it's just going to not end up real well for Masadov. I think it's going to be a somewhat of an uncompetitive fight after the second round. After the first round. But that's my predictions for the night, man. It's your boy Rob from Rock and Roll Radio. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell. And I hope everybody enjoys the fights. One.